Hi guys, I'm back today with the metric version for the box I made on Tuesday, and we call this size A6, and that's different for Imperial people, but ignore it. For Dutch people, A6 is card size. This is the one I made on Tuesday with my only American size card, but you can see the card would fit just, but the envelopes they won't. Yeah, maybe on an angle, and but then if you put more in, you have less room to put it on an angle. So I made a new box, and it's similar. Also, some of the score lines are the same, but it's just different size paper. So again, you need 2 pieces of paper, and yeah, and choose which one you like. For the lid, you need a piece of paper that is 10 3/4 by 6 inches. So 10 3/4, 6 inches, and make sure your pattern is straight. And for the bottom, you need 10.5 by 11.25. Now I made a mistake, so don't mind that, but just follow my instructions. Make sure the paper is at the short side up, so the 10.5, and then score at 2 and 8.5, or just turn the paper and score at 2 again, which is easier, so you actually know that the sizes are the same on each side. If there's a little bit of a wiggle room, there's something weird that if I measured on my cutting board or with my ruler, yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, anyway, then you score at 4 5/8 and 6 5/8, and this is where I made the mistakes. I think I did 1 notch shorter, so my box is not 2 inches anymore wide, but a little bit less, and I only noticed that when I start putting it together. For the lid, you score at 2 and 2. Actually, you just turn it around, or 2 and 8 3/4, and you can check it if that's the right size. It should be 8 3/4, but again, 2 from each side is just easier, and then 2 and 4 on the short side. And then of course you have to burnish all your scoring lines. And again, I use pattern paper, but you can use normal colored paper or card, a bit strong card, and then embellish it with pattern paper scraps if you have them. But I don't have any solid, but not that it's 12 inches. It's a bit shorter because that's also metric. And I measured it in metric, and then I converted it to inches because of the scoring line, of the scoring board, sorry. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy here and there, but the card fits, so I'm okay with that. So and I notch it the same way as I did the American size card or Imperial. And here's then the flowers on my pattern just indicate which side the pattern has to be up. And here it doesn't really matter because my penguins is both sides, but if you tilt it 90 degrees, then they would be on the side, so that would be a bit weird. And you can find the pattern at the end of the video if you pause it. It's not to scale, but you can also download it from my blog if you want to keep it. But I would suggest to do it, you know, redraw it in your own sizes, because I kind of divided it by 2, otherwise it wouldn't fit on one sheet. it's not really accurate. And here I notch the middle flap only. And then to put it together, you put the flap on the outside. And this is where I noticed that my bigger flap is wider. I just cut it off, and it just means that my box is not 2 inch deep or wide, but I'm okay with that. Next one should be okay, but I just counted the notches wrong, so that's a bit silly, but yeah. It's early. See, it just hangs over the score line because I put the score line in the wrong position. But if you do what I said, 4 5/8 and 6 5/8, then you'll be okay. Just I had to kind of fix it. And here I'm measuring it. That is 2 inches, but that is not. Yeah. Yours will be if you follow the pattern and the directions that I give you and just ignore what I'm doing. I didn't want to start over. The cards still fit, might fit, one or less, but it all depends on how thick your cards are and how much embellishment are on it, and or how thick. I use the really flimsy envelopes. I have to be really honest, because I think that's what people throw away first thing they get. See, that should be 2 inches. Anyway, let's not dwell on it. It still works. You just have to cut the flaps a little bit narrower, but you would have to do that if you did it right. So again, the little flap goes on the outside of one of the flaps, and then the other flaps wraps around it. So it hides the flap, but it's not on the inside where it can catch your cards or anything else you want to put in. It's not to say you have to use cards to put in. And see, that lid is 2 inches, so that it will be a little bit big on there because that one is smaller, but that is also fine. So here I'm gluing left to right and then the middle flap on top. I did that on Tuesday as well. Sorry, I'm a little bit out of frame. I don't drink coffee, people, so 8 o'clock in the morning is just I need a bit more time to wake up. And as you know, I like to use glue gun to glue my boxes together. It's nice and sturdy and you have a little bit of wiggle room. And I just checked my card fit. I paused the camera, so I'm sorry, but I'm just choosing a ribbon here. That's why I paused the camera to go get the ribbon, and it eats up bits of my film. And yeah, I just, much as I did it on Tuesday, I wrap it around twice. If it's wider ribbon, I would just wrap it once, but this gives it a bit more body. And I put a bow on the top, but you can also put it here if you prefer, but I don't. I like it on the top. And again, you can embellish it with flowers or ephemera that you have, anything, die cuts, tag, pattern paper instead of using pattern paper. It's all up to you because you're creative enough to come up with your own versions. This video is just to show you the sizes of the box, and you can see the lid is a little bit more wide, and this one is nice and snug, and that's because the metric conversion and the 1/8 and 2/8, and but it still fits and I'm okay with it. I'm going to gift it and I don't care. So Thank you for watching, and I will see you again on Sunday. Bye.